morning. Good morning. And welcome to our Wednesday morning class coming to you from HeartLight Spiritual Center here in Charlotte. Thank you for you that are here in person today and for you that are joining us and will join us later. We want to welcome you. We've just completed our 12 faculties of one power that was influenced by Charles Fillmore and his work. And of course, Spirit is putting a different spin on all these things that people did 100 and 150 years ago, and it should be. And Charles Fillmore said that. He said, don't hold things where they are because there's room for growth. And I don't know if that message really got out to a lot of people who have kind of landed at the New Thought metaphysical level to realize that there's still growth, there's still potential, there's possibilities to be awakened, that we don't have to go back and keep doing the same things over and over that somebody else did. But we need to find the spirit of our time. And what is the spirit of our time creating? That's in resonance to the time that we're living. And that's important. And that's what we want to be here at HeartLight, right? We want to be a collective availability for the presence of spirit to show up in our time and lead us and guide us. Because I think people who do not learn how to be spiritually guided are going to have the most difficult time. And I think that we've been given, you know, the scripture says, work while it is day because night cometh suddenly. And we're still in a little bit of freedoms and things that we can use, so use it while you can, because it can change on a dime. I was just watching the Dow yesterday. I mean, it's been high, and just in a matter of a second, it lost 700 points. So it just showed me how quickly things can change in this fragile 3D systematic world that we live in that is coming unglued at the seams because it's imploding on itself. You see, in the 3D world, which is the ego's world, it's always about more, to the point that it implodes on itself. That's what happens to stars out there that implode because of the heaviness of the stars. It implodes on itself. So I'm saying that to say that I don't know that we have the answer to change everything. I think everything's going to change itself. What we want to be is a part of feeding the consciousness of that which is coming in and breaking through from other dimensions into our third dimensional world. That means we're going to have access to other dimensions, which is going to rearrange the old dimensions that we're used to. And that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a rearranging of things that's going to make us for a while a little uncomfortable, because we're people, we love familiarity. And Homo sapiens, the best thing they have ever done in the story of evolution is learn how to adapt. We adapt to wars, we adapt to famines, we adapt to all kinds of things. We have been survivors. And now the universe is saying, go to the next step. And the next step is going to be a step into more availability to dimensions and consciousness, therefore new ways to create and co-create. So that's what we want to, today, I don't know, I'm doing a little differently today, but I wanted to come back to the subject of vibration and sound today. I don't want us to move away from that as a place to always come back to. It's a good place to come back to move forward. It's kind of like a paradox. Sometimes you move back to go forward, right? I remember, I always tell this story, but my parents had a pool, and when my daughter was real small, she said, oh, Daddy, can you do a flip off the diving board? And I'm going, oh my God, no, I don't want to do a flip on the diving board. But I didn't want to disappoint my daughter either. So I was sitting there thinking about, okay, because I'm 6'2", how am I going to do this and make it all the way over? And it came to me, the further down I go with the diving board, the higher it will take me. And I made a message out of that, believe it or not, of course. But it's a paradox. I go down to go further up. Yes, it's all in divine law and divine spirituality. So I think that we can sit here and talk about the new earth. We can talk about the new human, the new body, moving from Homo sapien to Homo luminous, at a time in which our blood will be the frequency of our blood will be so changed that it will return back to its original substance, which is light. Blood is congeal light. I've taught that to you for 6 years. I don't know if you get it or not, but you can look me up on this scientifically, and they will admit that our blood is a dense part of light that's been trapped into the physical body level. And the scripture gives us clues when it says life is in the blood. It says that life is in the blood, and life is the light of men. It's all right there. You know, if you just read that book without Christian glasses or whatever dogma you've been taught, you will see how obviously coded the whole thing is. And to me, that's just wonderful. Life is in the blood, but the life is the light of men. So this is how and why light is showing up so much right now. Like light language, it's going to be light everything because the light is definitely the first showings up of 5D and beyond. And that's when some of your phonons will be changed into photons. What's that? Okay. Simple. A phonon is the smallest unit of sound. We get the word phone, phonics. That's the smallest unit of sound. The smallest unit of light is a photon. So when I was doing Soma Energetics, we would teach people we do phonons up the back, and by the time we get to the crown, to the sacred pause point, where it's going to go down the body, all the phonons change to photons in the body. So you have sound and light. And how that's moving is through the vibration of the tuning fork. The tuning fork gives it a carrier for phonons and photons to work throughout the energy body. So the power of vibration began, if we dare to take it from a biblical point of view, and there's so many other books and texts that you can take this from, it's just the one I know the best, is that, and God moved. I'll just stop right there. And God moved. I'll stop right there. And God moved. Something came alive. And boy, when it did, was there a big bang. Are you with me? And it actually came out of a little dot which was nothing but held everything. See, if you and I, by Christian teaching, talked about eternity, we'd go, time without end. When we've been there 10,000 years, there's another 10,000 years to go. Because we see forever as time, forever. Totally wrong. It is not true. Even the word eternal or the word forever. How can you have a forever and a forever if the first forever never ends? Why would you need a second forever? The first forever, if it was forever. But those are all words that have come from the Greek word for age. Aeon, age. So it says forever, and forever means in an age and an age. See? Or eternal means within the space of an age. You see, we've just been duped about some of these concepts that we believe that I'm going to go to heaven and live forever. Has nothing to do with time and space as we basically know it. So, God moved. Let's take it one level to Young's Concordance, and this time the word is God fluttered. I've just seen on the Qigong and all these different ones, and Tai Chi and all of them, that they do a lot of shaking because they know vibration, the power of vibration in the body resets it. So anytime there's a whole lot of shaking going on anywhere in anybody, it's metaphorically talking about vibration. Okay? I know there's a wonderful story about Paul who was teaching at the early, whatever he was doing, Paul was doing, teaching, traveling around doing his evangelistic work, and all of a sudden a viper got onto his hand and tried to kill him and poison him, and he shook it off in the fire. Hear that? Fire is always cleansing. It's not your punishment forever in hell. Because God is a consuming fire. And his ministers are fire. And that means we are those that can take into us whatever is around us and change it through the element of fire. Anyway, if I get into that, I'll get into hell, fire, brimstone, and all that kind of stuff, which is in my book, by the way, if you want to read all that. Yes, we always need a mental adjustment all the time, I think. I think that's the best thing, is a mental adjustment every day, is to adjust something I thought it was, but it's not that. So I think that's important. So let's take it to the third level, and this time God moved, God fluttered, and finally, God vibrated. God is a vibration or a frequency. And we share with that frequency. And the relationship between us and our true Creator, the true relationship is resonance. Finding resonance with the divine and the human produces creativity. Produces creativity. So here we are on the threshold again of a new epoch, a new age that is attempting to come in and has been going on for at least 2012. I don't know, everybody has a date for it. I heard 1994. You know, I'm not going to get into these dates because everybody's got a different timeline with it. But we know that it has started. It just was so in its infancy that it's overlapped the old and the new. Like the Aquarian age didn't just start, it's been going on a long time, but we're not totally living in the Aquarian age yet, but it's more and more becoming Aquarian because the overlap, the old is weakening and bowing to the new. And every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. And when 3D can bow down to 5D and say, you are welcome in this place, you will see a whole transformation take place of what it means to be human on this planet. You are here because you've already begun the process on an individual level, but the answer is going to be enough individuals to join together to reach a collective level or a critical mass state in which we can be the tipping point for something that you and I enjoy sometimes individually can be enjoyed collectively and available to all on a planetary level. Okay? So this is probably one of the greatest books ever been written for anybody who is into any kind of vibrational work of any kind, called Vibrational Medicine by Richard Gerber, MD. Fortunately, I started reading this book back in the 80s before I had any idea that I was going to be working with tuning forks, vibration, sound, and frequency. And so this book helped to prepare me for that time. So a lot of you that are attracted to a certain book or information that doesn't seem, you don't quite get it, but you're attracted to the knowledge, that doesn't mean it's for you now. It means it's creating an atmosphere for something later to come in. You understand that? So the more I learn about something, the more I'm attracted about a subject to read about, the more I store that data in me, then I'm storing data that eventually is going to resonate with the truth of the data. And when that truth comes, then I am released the energy. So anyway, this guy is amazing. It doesn't matter what you're into. He's good, and it's the #1 book that's suggested through our training classes when we had them. The first thing that I like to teach people is that, like everything else, as far as I'm concerned, we see everything kind of backwards in this 3D world outside of ourselves. It's kind of backwards because we're looking through a glass darkly. You understand that? The scripture says you look through a glass darkly, therefore you only know in part. But when that which is perfect has come, you shall no longer be in part. Now, the Course in Miracles picks that up and says, the ego makes its illusions real through dark mirrors. Same thing. So we're kind of looking like, when I looked in the mirror today, comb my hair or whatever I did, and the worst thing is actually on a computer, and you're trying to fix your hair, and it's the opposite way. And you think you're pulling it this way, and you're pulling it that way, because you're seeing everything in reverse. So this is why I think I came in with dyslexia. I think it's a very spiritual thing for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but I do not feel bad about it. I'm not guilty about it. I do not feel less because of it. I don't feel special. That I need to be in a special situation because I have dyslexia, because it has served me so well to see things out of the mirror, out of the reflection of the 3D world, which wants to turn everything around. See? So that has just worked for me is basically what I'm saying to you. So to begin our creating of this new destiny, this new collective, this new earth, this new dimension, whatever you want to call it, it's called many things, we have to realize that we must return back to the starting point, which is first connecting with the greatest universal sound there is ever, and that is silence. Everybody sees silence as an absence of sound. No, let me show you. Here's a tuning fork. What do you hear? Nothing, silence. But wonder if I choose to disrupt the silence with a vibration. Now, you're hearing the vibration, which is interrupted silence. But if I leave it alone, where does it go back to? Silence. That shows you that silence is the source. And that's why we need to learn how to connect with the background of the silence, where the ego cannot go. It hates silence. It hates for you to meditate. It hates for you to contemplate. It hates for you to be still and know. That's the worst thing, is to be still and know. It wants to keep you out of the knowing level and keep you in the belief systems. Keep believing, keep changing your beliefs, keep trying to figure it out intellectually, whatever. But if you stop all of that and behind all of that, have that gnosis moment of knowing, you shall know the truth. Oh, I believe it. Oh, I believe the Bible says that the truth shall set us free. I've always believed that. Do you know it? Have you had gnosis with it? It takes some training and some commitment to find that. And while I'm on that, you're not going to find it necessarily through meditation itself. Meditation is a tool to bring your chatter down. And unless you are a skilled meditation person who's gone to Tibet and in a cave for years and some of them have mastered mental silence, but most people just can't. There's always thoughts coming and going and whatever. Now, there's different degrees according to how much you've done meditation, how you've been taught about meditation, to where you are with it. But most people get very discouraged with it because they just can't shut down the chatter, or the monkey mind, they call it, that is always coming in all the time. So the answer to me was given to me, something by Deepak Chopra. In 1990, I was going through transcendental meditation classes, learning to meditate through mantra meditation. Okay, and that's wonderful. It really worked to bring me down to a really level that I liked and enjoyed. It was relaxing, it was peaceful, but it wasn't so enlightening. It was just mentally, emotionally healthy to meditate. But here's what he said, and I'll pass it to you. To learn to meditate, you must learn how to go between the thoughts of your mind. And if you can learn how to find the still points in all sound, you can slip through to the silent observer. In other words, and I love it that David says, I meditate night and day. I thought, how? What I read about you, you were meditating night and day. Not with Bethesda, with what's her name anyway. But what he was saying is there's a part of my essence, of my spirit, that stays in that place 24 hours a day. It never stops. And that is what he called the silent observer. Simple. You go to a movie, right? A movie you really get into. Emotion, you feel the emotion of it, the fear, whatever you feel all about it. Your hands are sweating, your heart is racing, on the scary parts, and you're doing all these reactions to what's on the screen because you have become so one to the story that you have forgotten who you are sitting in the seat in the theater. You have no idea anymore who you are as the observer of this movie. You are in the movie, or the movie is in your head and working out. And then the end. And you go, oh, well, that's not real. Not one thing that scared me, not one thing that did this was a real thing. It was all acting. It was all an illusion. And I just got all so much into the illusion that my body thought I was believing this was real. So it reacted accordingly. So don't ever think you're not without pure meditation, because it is always the silent observer. If I'd have you right now put in the middle of your mind's eye the most beautiful red apple that you could visualize, who's looking at the apple? How do you know it's an apple? It's not the vision of the apple that's telling you it's the apple. It's the observer that has learned that that object is an apple. So, first thing that I've taught people, back to my dyslexia thing, is that we do not necessarily have an aura. Most everybody believes that the aura comes out of the body. Therefore, because the brain believes matter before energy, because it believes what it sees first. It sees, or the five senses. That's the first thing that it sees it as and perceives it as, that object. It's the objective world of the mind. I see a chair. I mean, that's so generalized. A chair. What is a chair? That chair didn't tell me it was a chair. Because I take that object, see it inside my brain, and then I've got a lot of data that says that's a chair, that it's called cell firing, and I fire that memory out of my cell and attach that's a chair. But it's a chair inside my head, not out there. What it is out there is some steel and some screws and some material and some stuff that makes it a chair. And then behind all of that had to be somebody that had an idea to put that together and make it a chair. So everything comes from an idea to the material to do whatever it is, and then we learn to call it what it is. We learn to call it what it is. So, I do not believe that we have an aura starting with our body. I believe the aura comes this way. You have to start out in your highest level. You didn't start out as a body. That's not your origin. That's not who you are. You incarnated into this body, but you're not necessarily this body itself, other than energetically, but spiritually you're not. And that's where I have a difference between spirit and energy. Energy is a little better word because it takes you out of a word that religion has used a lot for its teachings and dogmas, which is spirit. Spirit is used in all kinds of different ways in religion. But energy is not so much in the religious consciousness. Therefore, if you use different words, you kind of bypass some of your ego stuff. Because if the ego says, oh no, now I know the word spirit, but I don't quite know what they mean, energy, then it shuts down. And that's why language is so important, that you keep learning new words, learning new ways to say things, learning new language is the best way to bypass the ego system that's always defensive, you know. So you have to start here, really, and you just start further than that, and that's coming. I know that's coming, but right now I'm still trying to get us to deal with the 7 layers here. If I can get you to get the 7 layers when we go to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's coming. It's coming. It's out there. It's entering in to the consciousness. But right now, we've got to fully understand that we start at the crown. Now, the crown chakra, like everything else, is a spiral, right? That means that it's a vortex. And it spins. And it spins out on itself to create an energy body. See? That's what an energy body is. And it's coming out of the crown, which is your highest frequency for contact. Your crown chakra is where the energy spiritual body made contact to the physical body. That's why that baby, to me, has that soft spot. That soft spot is the connection of the soul actually saying, I'm going into the body for the last time and stay. I've been coming in and out for 9 months, but I'm moving in now. It took me nine months to prepare, because I had to change my frequency so much from where I came from, and I had to lower it so the body could hold me. Are you with me? Your body had to learn how to hold your soul and your spirit frequency into a physical level. And that's why you have gestation. Mine was 10 months. Maybe Tim's was 7 months. Maybe yours is 9 or 8. I don't know. However long it took until you finally found the resonance between the body and the spirit soul that you are finally coming together and finally moving in for a lifetime. When it moves in, it's called a lifetime. A lifetime. So that's called the catheric, K-E-E-T-H-E-R-I-C, catheric. Don't confuse it with etheric, catheric. Now, if you know anything about the tree of life and the Kabbalah, you know that the top of the crown of the tree of life is the kether. I want you to listen to the saying, kether, catheric. And what does those mean? The word crown. So the old black gospels had it when they were singing, we shall wear a crown, we shall wear a crown, we shall wear a crown when this battle's over. You know, but they took it literally, like they're going to go to heaven and they're going to get this crown of jewels and whatever. And it's talking about this etheric level that holds the blueprint of your created self into your incarnation. That means you have availability to who you are by creation, even the time you land in the form of the body. You have access to it. There just wasn't anybody to teach us how to access it. What religion did you set in? What church did you set in? What Sunday school did you go to that says you're already whole? You just lost the memory of it and connection with it, and we're going to reconnect you to your wholeness. No, you're broken, you're a sinner, and you need to get saved, and you need to do this. See the difference between what religion wanted to do? It all comes from the belief in lack and separation. So the etheric body coming out of the crown holds your blueprint of your whole created self. So imagine the etheric blueprint of your perfect created self. Getting down where you live. That's the key. All these things we talk about and believe are wonderful, but it ain't going to help us until it is living at the level we live at. Are you with me? I know we know a lot of stuff. I know we sound pretty enlightened and smart intellectually and all the things that we've done, but how much of this stuff is living your life? So what happens? The etheric body wants to get in all the way to the astral level. If it can make it to the astral level without losing in the interpretation of the other energy bodies, then it can immediately, because the etheric body is a magnetic body, very strong electromagnetic body, it attracts it right into the etheric body, which is the blueprint for your physical body. If it can just make it to the etheric blueprint, cells will start reading it. Right now, it's reading your ancestry, DNA, genetic story. Your DNA carries a story of form, evolution. But your spiritual self carries the story of your creation. Are you with me? Yeah. And so, as it moves from the etheric, it has to go into what's called, I won't go through all of them, the causal body, the so-and-so body, and whatever. But each time it does, it steps down its frequency. Because it's not going to fit in here if it doesn't step down its frequency. It's going to stay outside. Tim, you need to go eat something sweet. That's not good. All right, what am I saying? So if it can make it there, then it can make it to the etheric body. But unfortunately, the fact that we have free will, this is where free will is a two-edged sword. All these things in a 3D world has a positive and negative side to it. It can be used for good, it can be used not for so good, everything, you know. That's why we call the knowledge of good and evil and all of that took place. Polarization, this is not that, I'm not you, you're not me. That kind of consciousness is 3D thinking, you know. But you're not me, I'm not you because you don't look like me. You're not the same race I am, you're not the same gender, therefore you can't be me. That's the ego world. But if you get into your spiritual creation world, we're the only begotten. We're all the only begotten. Son, male, female. Son, female, female. Son there does not mean all male. Son begins as an androgynous being of both feminine and masculine energy. like mankind. And that's a much better way to put it if you're going to use man. Man is not a bad word, ladies, and don't throw it out because you think of your ex. No. 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 You know, all men are rotten. You can't trust all men. We got that too going on in the ego world. And we also go with all women are this, and all women are that, and all men are this, and all blacks are this, and all whites act like this, and all that kind of stuff goes on. I'll be so glad to see the disappearance of this whole world that we have tried to make sense of, and we just haven't. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway, it has to get there, and unfortunately, because we have used our free will to create a misalignment story with creation story. So we have form story, we have creation story. Creation story is everything in this human story that we think we lack and we need to get. And that's why I try to keep us bring us back to the real essence of the word faith. Faith is a point of contact in consciousness, in the higher atmosphere of our consciousness, where we remember that we are created whole and magnificent expressions of the One. We have to know that, though. You can't just go to the church that believes it and sign up for the belief. You've got to know it. Seek the knowing experience. So, because of that, we have chosen many times to misalign with who we truly are as a created being, and we have taken what was created perfectly and reformed it or miscreated it. So we have creation. To me, all illness, sickness, and death itself is a miscreation. It's a miscreation. Fear, miscreation. Anxiety, anything you name like that you're trying to deal with is because you miscreated it. And here's the thing that he said, the first thing in here is human beings must take responsibility of their own path. That's the first thing the first layer that needs to be healed in all of us is the victimization level. We all believe ourselves victims of most everything. And to be really a spiritual person is a person who understands where their power lies is in the center of themselves. Let's say it. I am the center of my power. I am the center of my power. One more time. I am. That's what you're saying. You just gave your power to the I am that you are. The I am is not nothing I need to become. The I am is something I need to remember that I am. Amen. When I can say I am that I am. Somebody hear me. When I can say I am from my heart and spirit and get my brain to join in and say, well, I am too. Yes, I am that, whatever that is, I am that, because I created it or I miscreated it, and therefore I take the responsibilities. Then you begin truly the road to salvation. And the word saved is the word sozo in the Greek, and it merely means heal. It doesn't mean go down and you feel bad about yourself because you smoke cigarettes and drink beer and you're going to hell, whatever. That's my childhood stuff coming out right there, because I heard this stuff. Everything was a sin that sends you to hell and whatever. Yes, pray for me. Pray for my root chakra that I get it out. But what I'm saying is, because of misalignment, we have created unfinished areas of ourselves that we've not brought to balance emotionally, mentally, and that has ended up physically as our illnesses, sickness, and diseases. many cases. Not all. I'm not an absolute, a person that believes that anything is absolute. I'm not that. I don't believe there's anything that's absolute, that it's all this or all that. But you have to discern in 3D. The greatest tool that you can activate in yourself is discernment and intuition, to know what is spirit and what is not, what is in alignment and what is not in alignment. That is the best way. And I'm sorry, but at some point we need to stop running to every psychic and reader that there is and learn that anything they could tell us was already in ourselves. I'm not against it. Go to them till you don't need them. Go to wherever till you don't need it, because all of it can help you, but it should be taking you to your power. Oh, I can't make a decision until I check with so-and-so, or I can't do this even with astrology or whatever. I'm not against any of those things, but I'm sorry, if it's outside yourself, then you are not in aligned with Source, which has been given to you inside yourself. So by the time the etheric goes through changing its frequencies into more density and collecting unfinished issues. Now you got karma to look at. You got a lot of karmic issues you've suppressed. You don't even remember. But it doesn't matter whether you remember them or not. They are there, and at some point they can remember you. If you give them a frequency, a lower enough frequency, you can activate them in yourself as an illness or a discomfort or a disease that can become a disease, can be awakened in you. So that's all there, and that's all in your shadow self, in your unconscious part of yourself. Is all that suppressed stuff. So you got karmic, then you got ancestral stuff that's followed you here. You got all that story. You got miasms that have followed you here from your ancestry, which are predisposition towards certain diseases that's been running through your family is in there. He talks a lot about miasms. When the best thing for miasms is tuning forks and vibration. They're little etheric viruses that follow the family tree. And they can't stand raw vibration. They just don't like it. So one of the best ways to get rid of miasms is through the tuning forks, or bowls or some, but tuning forks, I think, are some of the best ways to do it. So anyway, I got to get to the bottom line here, because I'm setting the stage, because we're going to do this for a few weeks on sound and vibration and exercises and whatever. So let me just say this before we do an exercise, that what happens is by the time this wholeness and perfection gets down here and is reinterpreted by unfinished emotional, mental, karmic story, changes the story. It changes the story of creation to a different story. That's why one of the best things that we all could do is learn how to assist people to change their stories. Yes. Because why? Stories become flesh. Yes. And the word, logos, becomes flesh. So by the time it gets to the etheric blueprint, which is about 2 to 4 inches before your physical body, not from it, it's coming in. It's coming in. I know you've heard me talk about this a lot, but I'm just laying a foundation. So the etheric is the blueprint for the physical body. Remember that. I'll mention it, but just to remind you that constantly cells are destroying themselves and recreating themselves all the time. The Eastern people found this out thousands of years ago in deep meditation or whatever, but they learned this, somehow they understood this dance of destruction and reconstruction called Shakti and Shiva. The god of one is creating and the other is creating. And it's kind of a dance that's going on in you all the time. Just sitting here right now, tens of thousands, millions of cells are dying in you. You got about 50, 60 trillion cells there that are constantly. Deepak Chopra says you get a new liver every 6 weeks. Sure doesn't seem like it, does it? That's the illusion. That's the lie. Age is a lie. Aging is a lie. It is a lie. And that's why when you understand telomeres and you understand all this thing, how you age is not by the years you live. So that was a lie. That was a lie. That after, I hear it all the time. And after 40, this is going to happen. And then in their 20s, this happens. And by the time you're 50 and 60, this is going to happen. I mean, we are just totally, constantly prepared for this journey of degeneration. But if you get to the story of creation, you'll find the story of degeneration becomes regeneration. Are you with me? Creation story is regeneration. The form of miscreation is degeneration. But we believe so much in the degeneration, so deeply into it. We have made it one of the strongest illusions that's in 3D is dying and death. We believe in it so much, we started dying in the womb. Death began at the very beginning of conception. And it started the process. Because that's the aim of the world of form, is to die. But the story now is not the story of living, but life, and more abundantly. Life. So I talked about that kind of recently. Okay. We're going to do a little, it's called full body sound sequence. And we're going to use our voices. Now I want to tell you, when you're using your voice, you're using vibration. That's all your voice is. Vocal cords are all about vibration. And the words that you're sounding is vibration. So you do not have to be able to hold a tune. You do not have to be a great singer. None of that is important at all. It's all about the vibration. So this is just one that's called a full body sound sequence. And we're going to do a top of the head. This is for the head area itself. This is something you can just do. These are simple, but they're powerful. We're going to put our head on the top of our head, and we're going to make the sound eem. Eem. Together. Eem. 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 Can you feel any vibration at all? Good. All right. Let's do the forehead, because the frontal cortex is so where we live and think and decide and make decisions and whatever. We're going to go aim, 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 aim. One more time. Aim. Good. I want you to put your hands on each side of the carotid part of the neck, and we're going to talk about this one in detail at some point. But this is a wonderful way of activating our vagus nerve. And this one we're going to do I am, okay? I am. Do the I like that. You feel the vibration there? That is all connected to your vagus nerve, which we will talk about it. So notice how you feel right now from the neck up. Sleepy, I guess.
I'm going to rest in it.
Okay. Hands on chest. This is for the heart area, the chest area, the thymus, thyroid, and all that area right in here. And we're going to go always in with the it's Om. Just feel that for a moment. Okay, you're going to put your hands at the bottom of your rib cage. I guess we'd call that the solar plex area. And this is for our stomach. Bless our stomachs, what they go through, and much stomach issues, and the food we put in them, and digestive issues, whatever. We really need to be good to this part of ourselves. We're going to do Om, like an Om. Okay. Om. 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 And breathe. Both hands on the belly button. We do that a lot for the exercise, right? She calls it the dantian. Yes. So put our hand together on top of each other, and we're going to go ooh, ooh, small, like owl. Sorry. And if you can do it with your hands on the waist. This is for our lower parts of our body, our reproductive areas, our legs. And we're going to do like UH. Thank you. I think it's okay. I want you to make a short A sound. Real deep. This is real good for the central part of the body, the sushumna area. For the ears is N-E-E, knee. Knee, knee, knee. You feel it vibrate? Knee, 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 knee. Throat is ga, ka, ga, ka, ga, ka, ga, ka. Sinuses are ma, M-A. Ma, 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 ma. Feel your nose vibrate. Ma, ma. So I just wanted to introduce to you some sounds that can be made. So I'm going to close with one that we've done before here I really like, and that is with the Om tuner. We're going to first do the vowels as we know them. A, E, I, O, U. Together. A, E, I, O, U. No problem. Very good, because it was linear. This went to this stopped, and this started, and whatever. But what if we do this vertically in parallel time? So I'm going to do it first for you, and I'm going to show you how this is going to work. I'll do it. Okay. A, E. I want you to put those together. A. got to hold the A and add the E. Now you talk about speaking in tongues, your brain will think you're doing it because you don't get this at all. But we're going to build them. Instead of this way, we're going to build them this way. This is an exercise to help to rewire the mind to be ready for more multidimensional energy and dimensions to come into you instead of everything being put in a linear 3D table, okay? So let's do it again. A-E. A-E. Okay? I'm going to add A-E-I. Isn't that crazy? It's powerful though. A-E-I-O. We're going to add an O. You find it a challenge to do this? Because I've done it so much, but I've got it. But it's really a great exercise. A-E-I-O-U. We're going to add the U. Can you do it? Now you do it without me. A. Good. That's pretty good. I tell you, if you'll do this, it's amazing how it will change the synapses into different patterns that is able to start picking up higher frequencies. They're already coming in. They just don't know how to pick it up yet. And we have to teach them. We have to teach them how to be more sensitive to higher dimensions, because higher dimensions means new data coming in. And we need this data. This is what's going to save us, is the data that is coming in from light. Light data. In that way. Well, I hope you enjoyed some of this today. It's a little different, but this is my passion. I love talking about energy, vibration, frequencies, and just because Soma's gone doesn't mean I have to stop talking about these wonderful tools that we basically all have. So next week we want to really talk about the vagus nerve. What a powerful, powerful nerve it is, and how that we can use sound to activate our vagus nerve. It is because, and I want to close with this. I was trying to tell you Sunday, or I'm going to tell you this Sunday, I'm finished. Last Sunday was not a finish for me. So we're going to do next Sunday, but you're going to find out that this new energy and vibration coming in, the first thing it's going to affect is your nervous system. And I'm going to show you what's going to change, from eating habits to sleeping habits to all kinds of things are going to be in flux of retuning themselves to a new norm of what is breaking through and coming in at this time. All right, let us just take a moment, if you will. Yeah, if you want to, thank you. We don't know what to do with this offer. We're all trying to figure it out. Okay, just take a moment. Holy Spirit, we thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Help us to understand these things that are more unseen to the five senses, that we can understand to be more sensitive to energy and to vibration, to frequency, to sound, and to color. All these things are so important as the ingredients to a new earth, to a new body, to a new humanity that is waiting for us. It is these things that shall come together into different patterns of geometric patterns that shall show up in us, that will be reread by the cells, and the cells shall start creating themselves from higher frequencies of vibration until they're beyond the vibration and frequencies of illness and sickness and disease and all the things we've inherited and we've made for ourselves. Let us become a clear channel, clear and full of your light, shining it forth. Let us become as a city set on a hill of light that cannot be hidden to the world itself. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. All right. Thank you so much. If you have something that you will support and give to the class, I would certainly appreciate it. We would all appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody have anything you want to
Thank you. Thank
say? I hope this was informative to you.
I hope it helps with sleep.
Hmm?
I said, I hope it helps with sleep.
Don't hope, do.
That's right.
Don't hope, vote. I love that when he said, don't boo, vote. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, and hope to see you Sunday.